Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, the Jefferson 5-cent nickel minted in the United States in 1961 carries far more meaning than its small size suggests. At first glance, it may appear like an ordinary coin, something that once quietly passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, gas stations, and neighborhood shops. But when you slow down and truly look at it, this coin becomes a powerful symbol of American history, craftsmanship, and hidden value that many people overlook even today. In 1961, the United States was standing at the edge of transformation. The nation was entering a new era marked by hope, tension, ambition, and change. John F. Kennedy had just become president, the Cold War shaped global decisions, and the American people were filled with optimism for the future. Coins produced during this time were more than currency, they were silent witnesses to history. The Jefferson nickel from this year was struck during a moment when America was redefining itself, and that historical backdrop adds depth to its worth. The design of the Jefferson nickel had already become familiar by 1961, yet it remained dignified and timeless. On the front of the coin appears the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's most influential founding fathers. His expression is calm, thoughtful, and resolute, reflecting ideals of independence, intellect, and democracy. This portrait was created with careful attention to detail, and even decades later, strong examples of this coin still display sharp features that speak to the skill of the engravers at the United States Mint. The reverse side of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. This design choice was intentional and symbolic. Monticello represents vision, architecture, knowledge, and the philosophical foundations of the nation. On well-preserved examples, the steps of Monticello are clearly defined, a detail that collectors pay very close attention to. Strong strike quality on these steps can greatly influence how desirable the coin is among enthusiasts. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was produced at different mint facilities, and the presence of a mint mark adds another layer of intrigue. Mint marks serve as small but important identifiers, telling us where the coin was struck. For collectors, this tiny letter can make a noticeable difference in desirability and market interest. Coins from certain mints may show sharper strikes or better overall quality depending on the production standards and conditions at that facility during the year. What makes this coin particularly fascinating is how easily it can be overlooked. For many years, Jefferson nickels circulated heavily, often stored in jars, drawers, or old collections without much thought. Because millions were produced, people assumed they would never be worth much more than face value. However, time has a way of changing perception. As decades pass, high-quality examples become harder to find, especially those that have avoided heavy wear, damage, or cleaning. Condition plays a crucial role in determining the worth of a 1961 Jefferson nickel. Coins that remain in excellent shape, with original luster, minimal marks, and strong details, are far more desirable than worn examples. Collectors value coins that tell a clean story of preservation, as if they were frozen in time. Even subtle differences in surface quality can dramatically affect collector interest. Another important factor is strike quality. Some nickels from this period were not struck as sharply as others, resulting in softer details. When a coin displays crisp lettering, clear facial features, and strong definition on Monticello, it immediately stands out. These finer details transform a common coin into something special, something worthy of closer inspection and appreciation. Collectors are often drawn to coins like the 1961 Jefferson nickel because they offer an accessible entry into American numismatics while still holding meaningful value. This coin bridges the gap between everyday history and collectible art. It represents a time when coins were made for daily use but still carried elegance and pride in their design. Beyond its physical characteristics, the emotional appeal of this coin cannot be ignored. Holding a Jefferson nickel from 1961 is like holding a small piece of American life from more than half a century ago. It sparks curiosity about who may have used it, where it traveled, and what moments of ordinary life it quietly witnessed. That connection to the past is something collectors deeply cherish. As interest in classic American coins continues to grow, the 1961 Jefferson nickel has gained recognition among those who understand its story. While it may not be flashy or made of precious metals, its value lies in rarity of condition, historical relevance, and collector demand. Coins like this remind us that value is not always obvious at first glance. For anyone exploring coin collecting, this nickel serves as a powerful example of why patience and knowledge matter. What once seemed insignificant can become a treasured item when viewed through the lens of history and preservation. The journey from pocket change to collectible treasure is what makes numismatics so fascinating. We are diving deep into a coin that most people have held, spent, or ignored without a second thought. It is a coin that passed through millions of hands during everyday life, slipped into pockets, jars, and couch cushions, and yet quietly carried a story far richer than its size suggests. This video is dedicated entirely to the United States of America 1982 P Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel. This is not just another old nickel. It is a witness to a changing America, a turning point in coin production, and a symbol of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary over time. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why collectors pay close attention to this coin, what makes it special, and why its worth goes far beyond 5 cents. Historical backdrop: America in a time of change. To truly appreciate the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, we must step back into the early 1980s. The United States was going through economic uncertainty, rising inflation, and major changes in manufacturing and technology. Coin production was not immune to these pressures. Rising metal costs forced the U.S. Mint to rethink how coins were produced, handled, and distributed. This era marked a transition period for American coinage. Decisions made behind closed doors at the Mint would shape the future of circulating coins. The 1982 Jefferson nickel was struck during this pivotal moment, making it more than just currency. It became a snapshot of American resilience and adaptation. The Jefferson nickel legacy. The Jefferson nickel itself has a long and respected history. First introduced in the late 1930s, it replaced the Buffalo nickel and featured the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse. The reverse proudly displayed Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home. By 1982, this design had already been part of American life for decades. People trusted it, recognized it instantly, and used it daily. Yet subtle differences in minting, quality, and production methods can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's focus. That is exactly what happened with this particular issue. The Philadelphia Mint and the P Mint Mark. One of the most important details of this coin is the P Mint mark. For many years, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint did not carry a mint mark at all. That changed in the late 20th century when the Mint began adding identifying letters to most denominations. The appearance of the P Mint mark on the Jefferson nickel signaled a new era. It represented modernization, accountability, and a clearer system for tracking where coins were produced. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is part of that early group, making it especially interesting to collectors who focus on mint history and transitions. Design details: small features that matter at first glance. The design of the 1982 Jefferson nickel appears familiar. Thomas Jefferson faces left on the front, his profile strong and dignified. His expression reflects intellect, leadership, and calm authority. The inscriptions surrounding him reinforce the ideals of liberty and unity that define the nation. On the reverse, Monticello stands firm, a symbol of American architecture and Jefferson's legacy. But for collectors, it is not just the design itself that matters. It is the sharpness of the details, the clarity of the lettering, and the overall strike quality. Even minor variations can significantly affect desirability. Production challenges and quality issues. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint faced several production challenges. Equipment wear, changes in metal supply, and high output demand sometimes resulted in coins with weaker strikes or surface imperfections. Because of this, finding a well-preserved 1982 P. Jefferson nickel can be more difficult than many people expect. Coins that survived circulation without heavy wear, scratches, or dullness stand out. Collectors often look closely at the steps of Monticello, the hair detail on Jefferson, and the rim integrity to judge quality. Why collectors pay attention? Collectors are drawn to this coin for several reasons. First, it represents a transitional moment in mint mark usage. Second, it comes from a period of economic and industrial change. Third, high-quality examples are not as common as people assume. This combination of history, scarcity in top condition, and strong collector interest gives the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel a unique place in modern numismatics. It is not about age alone. It is about context, survival, and story. The role of condition in value condition is everything in coin collecting. A nickel that looks worn, faded, or damaged will always be treated differently than one that appears crisp and clean. Collectors often use professional grading standards to evaluate coins, focusing on luster, strike strength, and surface preservation. A 1982 P. Jefferson nickel that has been carefully stored, never harshly cleaned, and protected from environmental damage can achieve a level of desirability far beyond face value. This is where many people are surprised. A coin they once overlooked suddenly becomes something worth discussing. Searching for this coin. Why many of these nickels are still out there. They can be found in old collections, inherited jars, bank rolls, and even circulation, though that is becoming less common with time. The thrill of the hunt is part of what makes coin collecting so rewarding. Collectors often recommend using good lighting and magnification when examining Jefferson nickels. Small details can make a big difference. A strong strike, full design elements, and clean surfaces all add to the coin's appeal. A symbol of everyday America. What makes the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel truly special is its connection to everyday life. This was not a commemorative coin made to sit untouched. It was made to be used, spent, and exchanged during ordinary moments. Groceries, gas stations, vending machines, and pocket change all played a role in its journey. That ordinary purpose makes surviving high-quality examples even more impressive. Each well-preserved coin tells a story of chance, care, and time. Final thoughts. From 5 cents to collector TRASUR. The United States of America 1982 P. Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel is proof that value is not always obvious. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. History, design, condition, and timing all come together to transform a simple coin into a meaningful collectible. Journey takes us deep into the quiet power of American coinage, focusing on a piece that often hides in plain sight yet carries a story far richer than its humble size suggests. This video is dedicated entirely to the United States of America Jefferson 5-cent nickel bearing the P. Mint mark, dated 1989. This is not just a coin, not just spare change, but a reflection of an era, a minting philosophy, and a collector's dream that continues to grow in attention and respect. Stay with me as we explore why this particular nickel matters, how it fits into American history, and what gives it its unique sense of worth. The late 1980s in the United States were a time of transition, confidence, and quiet momentum. The Cold War was nearing its end, technology was accelerating, and the American economy was shifting toward a new global role. Coins minted during this period were not designed to be flashy or experimental. Instead, they were solid, reliable, and deeply rooted in tradition. The Jefferson nickel from this era reflects that mindset perfectly. It was struck for everyday use, yet crafted with the same care and precision that defined decades of American minting excellence. The Jefferson nickel has one of the longest continuous designs in United States coinage. Featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the nation and author of the Declaration of Independence, the coin symbolizes intellect, liberty, and vision. By the time the 1989 edition was produced, the Jefferson nickel had already earned a reputation as a dependable workhorse of American currency. Its familiar portrait and dignified reverse design made it instantly recognizable, yet collectors know that subtle differences from year to year can transform an ordinary coin into something truly special. The P. Mint mark signifies that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historically significant mints in the country. For much of American history, coins from Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. When the P was introduced on certain denominations, it became a symbol of tradition meeting modernization. A Jefferson nickel with this mint mark represents continuity and authority, connecting modern collectors to the very heart of American coin production. On the obverse, the portrait of Jefferson appears calm and resolute, with clean lines and a timeless expression. This design emphasizes dignity over drama, intellect over power. The reverse, depicting Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, is equally symbolic. Monticello stands not only as a building, but as an idea, the blending of architecture, philosophy, and personal vision. Every line in the structure tells a story of balance and order. In well-preserved examples, these details remain crisp and deeply satisfying to observe. The Jefferson 5-cent nickel is composed of a copper and nickel alloy that gives it strength and durability. This composition was chosen to withstand heavy circulation while maintaining its appearance over time. When held in the hand, the coin has a reassuring weight and a smooth yet firm texture. Collectors often note that nickels from this era age gracefully, developing subtle tones that enhance rather than diminish their character. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. While many 1989 Jefferson nickels entered circulation and experienced wear, examples that remain in high-grade condition are a different story entirely. Sharp details, original luster, and clean surfaces dramatically elevate a coin's desirability. Coins with minimal handling marks and strong eye appeal attract collectors who appreciate both technical quality and visual beauty. At first glance, this Jefferson nickel might seem ordinary. But its appeal lies in its balance. It represents the end of an era before dramatic changes in global politics and economics. It reflects a minting standard that valued consistency and craftsmanship. For collectors, it offers accessibility combined with historical relevance. It is the kind of coin that rewards careful study, revealing more depth the longer it is appreciated. Collectors are increasingly drawn to modern-era coins that were once overlooked. As time passes, coins like the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel gain context and meaning. They become markers of a specific moment in history. Market interest often grows as collectors seek complete sets, high-grade examples, or coins that represent personal nostalgia. This steady interest contributes to the coin's recognized worth and ongoing relevance. Beyond metal and design, coins carry stories. This Jefferson nickel may have passed through countless hands, witnessed everyday transactions, and quietly served its purpose. Now, in the hands of a collector, it transforms into a storyteller. It speaks of American resilience, democratic ideals, and the beauty of everyday objects elevated by time and appreciation. The United States of America Jefferson 5-cent nickel with the P mint mark from 1989 is a powerful reminder that value is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes, it is found in subtle details, historical context, and careful preservation. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, this coin offers a meaningful connection to the past and a thoughtful place in any collection. Story is not just about a coin, but about a moment in American time, a quiet year at the edge of a new millennium, and a humble piece of currency that many people overlook without a second thought. This is the story of the United States of America 1999 D mint mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel, and why this small coin continues to capture attention, curiosity, and respect among collectors and enthusiasts. Imagine the United States at the end of the 20th century. The internet is becoming part of everyday life, music is shifting into a digital age, and the country is standing at the doorway of a brand new millennium. In that atmosphere of change and anticipation, millions of coins were struck to keep commerce moving. Among them was the Jefferson 5-cent nickel, minted in Denver, carrying the quiet but powerful D mint mark. This coin was never flashy. It was never meant to be rare at the time of release. It was designed to serve, to circulate, and to disappear into pockets, purses, and cash registers. Yet history has a way of transforming the ordinary into something meaningful. The obverse of the 1999 D. Jefferson nickel features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His image is dignified, calm, and reflective, reminding us of the principles upon which the nation was built. Liberty is clearly inscribed, along with the year of minting, grounding the coin firmly in its historical moment. On the reverse, Monticello stands proudly. Jefferson's beloved home is rendered with architectural balance and symmetry, symbolizing intellect, stability, and vision. The word Monticello appears clearly, reinforcing the connection between the man and the monument. The 5-cent denomination is simple and direct, just as the coin itself was intended to. Beta Denver Mint has long been known for its precision and consistency. Coins bearing the D Mint mark often reflect strong strikes and clean details, and the 1999 Jefferson nickel is no exception. During this period, the mint was operating at full efficiency, producing coins meant to withstand years of circulation, yet within mass production lies variation. Subtle differences in strike strength, surface quality, and preservation have created layers of interest for modern collectors. What was once a common coin can become something far more intriguing when examined closely. The Jefferson 5-cent nickel is composed of a copper and nickel alloy that has been used for decades. This blend gives the coin its distinctive silvery appearance and solid feel. It is durable, resistant to wear, and capable of surviving years of handling. Over time, however, circulation leaves its mark. Nicks, scratches, softened details, and surface dulling tell the story of where a coin has been and how it has been used. A well-preserved example from 1999, especially with sharp details and original luster, stands out as a quiet survivor from a busy era. Collectors are not only drawn to rarity. They are drawn to stories. The 1999 D Jefferson nickel represents the final moments of a century and the closing chapter of a familiar design era before major changes arrived in the following years. For some collectors, this coin is a nostalgic piece, a reminder of childhood, of pocket change, of simpler transactions before digital wallets. For others, it is a building block in a complete Jefferson nickel collection, where every year and mint mark plays an essential role. Condition is everything in the world of coins. A circulated example carries the marks of daily life, while an uncirculated piece feels almost frozen in time. Luster, strike quality, and surface preservation all influence how a coin is viewed and appreciated. The 1999 D nickel, when found in strong condition, showcases crisp lettering, well-defined steps on Monticello, and a portrait of Jefferson that retains depth and clarity. These features elevate the coin from ordinary to noteworthy. In recent years, there has been renewed interest in modern-era coins. Collectors are paying closer attention to pieces that were once ignored, recognizing that history does not only live in ancient or rare objects. Sometimes history is hiding in plain sight. The 1999 D Jefferson nickel fits perfectly into this narrative. It is accessible, recognizable, and deeply tied to a specific moment in American culture. As more people explore coin collecting, coins like this are gaining appreciation for their design, context, and condition. Holding this nickel is like holding a small time capsule. It connects the ideas of Thomas Jefferson with the realities of late 20th century America. It bridges the past and the future, tradition and transition. Every line, every surface, every mark tells a story. Whether it spent years in circulation or was carefully saved away, the coin carries the quiet weight of history. The United States of America 1999 D Mint mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel is more than just spare change. It is a reflection of an era, a symbol of continuity, and a reminder that even the most modest objects can hold lasting significance. For collectors, it represents completeness and care. For historians, it marks a moment in time. For everyday people, it is proof that value can be found in unexpected places. Today, we are diving deep into one such coin, the United States of America 2002 P Mint mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may never look at a nickel the same way again. Setting the stage for the Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. Introduced in the late 1930s, it replaced the Buffalo nickel and brought a more refined and historically grounded look to the 5-cent piece. Featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, this coin has always been about more than money. It represents intellect, democracy, exploration, and the early ideals of a young nation. By the time the year 2002 arrived, the Jefferson nickel had already been part of everyday American life for decades. Millions of people used it daily, rarely pausing to think about its design, metal composition, or deeper meaning. Yet for collectors, every year and every mint mark tells a different story. Understanding the 2002 era. The year 2002 sits at a fascinating point in modern American history. The country was stepping into a new millennium, facing rapid technological change, and redefining its place in a globalized world. Coin production during this period reflected both tradition and modernization. The United States Mint was using advanced machinery, improved quality control, and more precise striking techniques than ever before. Despite this modernization, the Mint stayed loyal to classic designs. The Jefferson nickel in 2002 continued to feature the familiar portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. This balance between old and new is part of what makes coins from this era so appealing to collectors today. The importance of the P Mint mark. One small letter can make a big difference in the world of coin collecting. On the 2002 Jefferson nickel, the P Mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This mint has a rich history that stretches back to the earliest days of the United States. It has been responsible for producing countless iconic coins and has played a major role in shaping American currency. The presence of the P Mint mark adds a layer of identity to the coin. It ties this nickel to a specific place, a specific minting process, and a specific moment in time. Collectors often seek out Philadelphia minted coins because of their historical importance and consistent production standards, design details that tell a story. Let us take a closer look at the design elements of the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel. On the front, Jefferson's portrait is dignified and calm. His gaze faces to the left, symbolizing reflection and forward thinking. The inscription of his name, along with the national motto and the year, frames the portrait in a clean and balanced way. Flip the coin over, and you see Monticello, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece. This building is more than just a home. It is a symbol of Jefferson's intellect, creativity, and vision. Every line and detail on Monticello represents careful craftsmanship, even on a small 5-cent coin. The word Monticello appears clearly, reminding us that this is not just a design, but a story cast in metal composition and physical feel. The Jefferson nickel is composed of a copper and nickel alloy. This combination gives the coin its distinctive silver-gray appearance and durable feel. Unlike precious metal coins, its value is not based on gold or silver content. Instead, its worth comes from condition, rarity, demand, and historical interest. When you hold a 2002 P. Jefferson nickel, you are holding a piece of everyday America. It is sturdy, practical, and designed to last. That physical resilience is one reason so many of these coins have survived in good condition, making high-quality examples especially appealing to collectors. Condition and collector appeal. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin that has been heavily circulated may still hold interest, but one that has sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear can stand out dramatically. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is no exception. Collectors look closely at the steps of Monticello, the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, and the clarity of the inscriptions. Coins that show strong strikes and minimal marks are especially prized. Even though many were produced, not all survived in excellent condition, and that difference matters deeply to collectors. Why modern coins still matter? Some people believe that only very old coins are worth collecting. This could not be further from the truth. Modern coins like the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel offer a unique opportunity. They are affordable, accessible, and rich in context. They allow collectors to build meaningful collections without needing centuries-old artifacts. These coins also capture a snapshot of a specific era. They reflect the technology, design philosophy, and cultural priorities of their time. For younger collectors, they can be an entry point into numismatics. For experienced collectors, they offer a way to complete sets and explore subtle variations. The emotional side of coin collecting. Coin collecting is not just about value. It is about connection. A Jefferson nickel might remind someone of childhood trips to the store, piggy banks, or family members who collected coins. It can spark curiosity about history, architecture, and leadership. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel carries all of this emotional weight. It is a coin that bridges generations, connecting the founding ideals of Thomas Jefferson with the modern world of the early 21st century. Market interest and perceived worth. Over time, interest in specific coins can rise and fall. Factors such as collector demand, population reports, and overall market trends all play a role. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel has found its place among collectors who appreciate modern issues with strong design and historical continuity. its worth is not about being flashy or rare in the traditional sense. It is about completeness, condition, and the satisfaction of owning a well-preserved example of a classic American coin. Closing thoughts and final reveal. As we come to the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect on how much meaning can be packed into a small 5-cent coin. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is a reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance. History, design, craftsmanship, and collector passion all combine to give this coin its place in the numismatic world. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore coins, this nickel offers a story worth telling and a piece worth appreciating. And now, as promised, the value and worth money of the United States of America 2002 P. Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel is $28.275.